Hey, good day, all. I'm Dudley from Gunner's Range, which is my YouTube channel. And that, of course, comes from the fact that I'm retired Chief Warrant Officer for the Marine Corps, known as Gunners. And today I've come to talk to you about the fact that Donald Trump's ego is going to destroy Ukraine. Now, before I go any further, I want you to understand I voted for Donald Trump in 16. I voted for him in 20. I voted for him in 24. And I am very pleased with everything he is doing now in this country, except I know he's going to throw Ukraine under the bus, and that's very sad. The reason for this is pretty simple. President Trump's ego has failed him because he clearly does not understand what type of person Vladimir Putin really is. Vladimir Putin is a megalomaniac. He's a murderer. He's someone, he wants to kill every Ukrainian. He wants Ukraine to disappear from the face of the earth. And he's used his disinformation to convince Trump that Ukraine has always been part of Russia. But that isn't true. Kiev was founded as a city in 476 AD. Moscow was not named as a city until 1127 AD, almost 700 years later. Ukraine was in a commonwealth with Lithuania and Poland before Russia was ever a country. And yet, President Trump has allowed himself to be fooled by all this Russian disinformation. I'm especially disappointed in his comment about Ukraine may be Russian one day. Well, you know, in order to do that, that means the Russians will have to commit genocide. Because Vladimir Putin has made it very clear in his talks, in his books, in his writings, that he wants to eliminate Ukraine as a country, bring it into Russia, and he wants that to be wiped from the face of the earth. And that's what's so disappointing, that President Trump, as smart as he is, that he has allowed himself to be sucked in by this. I just don't get it, because it was the Russian disinformation last time in 20, which cost him the election. And I sit here and I'm baffled with all the brilliant people he has working for him. I don't see how they can't understand that Ukraine is important strategically in Europe. And yes, I know they have their mind set on China right now. Well, you know what? China or not, if a NATO country is attacked and Article 5 is put into effect, well, we're stuck in a war in Europe, whether you like it or not. And so that's what bothers me, that he can't seem to understand that all of this is just going to lead to him being embarrassed in 2 or 3 years. I predict that before the end of his term, the Russians will come across again, and then we'll be involved in a war in Europe. I wish if there was anything I could tell him to his face, I would say, please, President Trump, read the history books and understand that you've been lied to a lot. And so it's a disappointment. Also, while I'm on that, I might as well say I'm disappointed in Pete Hegseth. Not for his initial ideas, but being so naive as a new SecDef that he basically stood there and told the world that Ukraine doesn't need to be part of NATO. You know, and the worst part is that, you know, you keep hearing people who say, well, we've given more than anyone to Ukraine for the war. Well, that's not true. You put all the European countries together, they've given a lot more than the U.S. has. In fact, in terms of gross domestic product, the U.S. is in 6th place in terms of gross domestic product donated to the Ukrainians. Anyway, I digress. But the point here is very simple. It's a very sad day for Ukraine, and I've been there a couple of times. It's a beautiful country, and the thought of Ukraine being wiped off the face of the earth by the Russians is almost more than I can stand. If I was 20 years younger, I'd be there fighting now. I'd probably be dead by now, but the point is I'd be there. So for those of you out there who are willing to think, I implore, I plead with you to think about the fact that isolating Ukraine and giving it away to the Russians will not be in our best interest. And President Trump will find that out in about 3 or 4 years. And he'll look bad, he'll have egg on his face when the truth really finally starts to come out. And again, let me close by saying, I said I have supported President Trump, and I like everything he's done, except for the situation with Ukraine. I supported him. If I'd support him again. So I'm just sad that his ego has failed him with a man like Vladimir Putin. All right, well, I guess that's enough for now. If you listened, I appreciate it. You know, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe to my channel or anything like that. That's not why I do this. I just want sometimes to get the truth out there. And I think this is a truth that really needs to be heard. And so I'll close by saying, may God bless you and your family. May God bless President Donald Trump. May God bless Ukraine. And may God bless the United States of America, the land I love. Have a good one.